break something down for people. In order to state certain things, you have to do due diligence. One, notice what you're given in somebody else. If you're told one thing and somebody else is told one thing, like, oh, I go to my doctor, they say, you know what? Um, I'm trying to get preventative medicine, so I take like Truvada, right? They're like, oh, you know what? Truvada is the best thing out here for making sure you don't become resistant to something, right? And then you come in and they say, oh, well, these shots is good. And they make sure you don't get resistance. And it's like, okay, well, hold on. You just told him that's the best thing. And you told me this is the best thing. That shows there might be a pattern of something, right? Or if they flip flop. Now all of a sudden you tell me one thing, then you come back and tell me another thing. Or if, like I said, the psychological factors, like of the projects, I was like, you have sound issues, sound quality issues. You probably got water issues. You got paint issues. You got so many different issues that are there but not addressed. Kind of like in a shelter. I'm like, you allow things to occur, meaning it's almost like I'm hearing they put the monkeypox, whatchamacallit, up, right? And I'm proud of them this time because I saw the little thing on the door and they at least put where you can go get vaccinated. But my thing is you should definitely pass those around. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't sit here and, what's the word? Put me in a situation as to where I can get monkeypox. And I'm like, taking care of myself or doing this or doing that. And it's like, oh, okay, well, he's taking care of himself and going and getting his vaccines on time. And always, if something's offered, he raising his hand. Like, look, hey, you got that? Oh, wait, can I get that? You got that? Can I get that one? You got that? I'm going to need that. So that's what I do because I want to make sure, regardless of whatever, I'm okay. But that's how you do that. Like when I first came here, they gave me, I think it was, what was it? Was it the monkeypox or the COVID? The COVID one. I'm sitting here like, well, at least they came and gave me a damn vaccine. It actually came to the place. You'd want to do that stuff. That's what I don't get about. I don't get about a lot of different, um, what's the word? Um, places. You know, places like a shelter breeds that type of stuff because some people take care, some people don't, and you're mixed environment. So 9 times out of 10, like somebody wants to yell at me, and this is probably why they being so extra about the mask. Put on your mask, put on your mask, and it's also how you make yourself look too. I used to pretty much always ask for a mask, right? And they're like, oh, makes you get a mask, makes you get a mask. You raise your mask, raise your mask. I'm sitting here like, okay, y'all being OD extra with the mask. You know what I mean? Like, I got the vaccine, and I showed you I got the vaccine. Now it's monkeypox. What you gonna tell me? Make sure you wear some gloves. Make sure you wear some gloves. 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 Like, it's almost like you're being snide or kind of like you're picking. And that's when you become extremely rude, right? Because I'm like, okay, why? You trying to be funny or something? Like you trying to be funny. This is what gets me about certain entities in New York. You try to be funny. That's the disrespectful part. Like HRA. After you turn down so many apartments, oh, we raised the limit. We raised the limit on the rent. It's like really to the amount, the first amount of the first apartment when I first got here that was immaculate and very nice. And the guy actually lived in the building. Or no, he worked from the building. So I was like, your landlord would have been there. So there's not too much I could have done when the landlord working in the building. That would have been the perfect spot for me to stay and go back to school. The landlord's on the bottom apartment. When you pass the door, you pass the landlord. And he's usually always there. You see all these files all around the room. I'm like, I don't know why you got that many files and got like pictures of the president and all this stuff. Like, you look really official right now. But ain't no telling what he into. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut on that, right? Kind of like the other shelter I was in. I was like, dang, I ain't never been in a place with these many files in an office. There's this little old white lady in there. There's all these freaking monsters. That's just piles. Like, honey, you need to go get a storage unit for all this. That don't make no sense for you to have this many files and then have like fiscal planning, like governmental fiscal planning books. Meaning you have a fiscal fucking planning, like it's basically showing like policy and procedure for financial spending for the government. They're not like, what's the word? It was a word to it, but it was like the how they come up with it. And it was actually in the front office, not in her office. That's kind of weird. And it was like how to kind of categorize. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess if you're trying to get it, but then you wouldn't read that book. That book's kind of like more government issue. And but I'm sitting here like, things should be fixed though. You know what I mean? And then like you tore a hole in the wall. It looks like a hole in the wall was torn. I don't remember if that hole in the wall was there. So I'm sitting here like you're almost mimicking or mocking somebody after the fact, which is ultra disrespectful. Like it doesn't make any sense as how disrespectful one is. You know what I mean? Like the fire that I went through. Now we're here, and like I go back and like the wall, because I was like, what did I say something about the walls, about how they're so thin, or how they're so this, or how they're so that, and they're like, oh no, da 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 da. I like, you still could put some flame retardant insulation in between the walls. That way, you know what I mean? Like it's not so you hear everything from your neighbor. And then I was thinking about, okay, like you don't have hand sanitizer, you don't have an emergency phone, you know what I mean? You don't have, it's not clean. You got trash all around and you got kids. That's what pissed me off. I was like, so why are they sitting up here talking about me and this, that, and that, and the third? I was like, but well, y'all need to wake up. I went and I complained. When I tell you she's like, she did the whole gesture at me, I saw it. I was like, and I put that on everything. She might also say, oh, that's not what I meant. No, hon. When I was there, I prayed somebody were to follow me around with a camera. Because I was like, when I went out there and talked to her, I was like, I was the one that called and I was the one that complained. Because you're in the middle of COVID and you got trash blowing all around. You got pee in the stairwell. You got all these different things that contaminate young kids with stuff or make young kids sick or make young kids unattractive. Because, baby, illnesses will make you unattractive. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I congratulated this one couple, because I was like, oh my God, your daughter, she looked like she could be like, she like one of them little Kardashian kids right around here, like, you know, so well taken care of. And so beautiful. I was like, that's beautiful. She's like, not saying other ones aren't. It's just that you look like you look like you value your child's health more than yours. Like you might be on doing some funky shit, but your child ain't mixing. You see what I'm saying? So, and this would piss me off about somebody else. They're sitting up there talking about they're so invested in their child. Oh, you almost killed my. Okay, hun, but what are you doing to your kids by not standing up for yourself? This is what pisses me off by an aspect of society, because I'm sitting here like, these kids mix, one, and two, you start a dangerous path of the wrong people in shelters mix. First of all, they run up on you in outside, don't they? Why are some people not concerned? I ain't gonna say nothing. But why are some people not really concerned or caring. That's another thing. I was like, because I would be caring. You got what's about it between two hotels. This one would be ran like a tight motherfucking ship. That's all I gotta say. I'd be like, oh hell no. You got us between a Marriott and something else. So I'm like, oh no. And then they stare. So I'm like, you staring outside, you chilling, you this, you that. I'm like, no, 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 baby, baby. Everybody come in here. You need to go get your monkeypox, and we're personally signing you up. I don't give up if you da 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 da. I'm gonna take you. You go COVID. You ain't got it. Like they had it that here that day. Everybody upstairs. If you don't get it, you gotta go. Oh, this, that, and the third. Cleaning with bleach. Oh, you know what we gotta do? If it is somebody in here that can't do bleach, we'll dull it down a little bit for you. But we bleach and clean. You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. Like there's antimicrobacterial paint. I bet you they didn't use it. They might have. I had antimicrobacterial paint in my apartment for a reason. Because I knew some shit was gonna go down. I was like, so if some funky shit went down in my apartment, guess what? 9 times out of 10, I took my shoes off at the door. I don't like having shoes all over the house. I had antimicrobacterial sheets and antimicrobacterial paint. I had stuff that was antimicrobacterial. You got doorknobs that are antimicrobacterial. You got buttons that are antimicrobacterial. You got handrails. You got stuff that MTA uses. So I'm like, when you set yourself up and stop thinking like a little doofer and start thinking the right way, then you start change. Then you don't get infections. Then you don't do this. Then you don't have crazy people. So I'm like, excuse me, if I'm sitting here looking at a psychologist or a doctor, like what the are you doing jeopardizing the working middle class and jeopardizing the poor class and end up entirely jeopardizing the upper class by not being on your so excuse me if I'm like that. Excuse me if I'm boisterous and saying stuff like that because you're not going to endanger my health. That's where I draw the line. Like when I was at NYCHA, I ain't got time to play with y'all with these sounds. I was like, you talking about killing, fucking, raping, all this other stuff. How do you know what that do to somebody's head? At one point, I was ready to snap. That's why you had to send the biggest fuck at me. I'm like, ain't nobody else came and stepped to my fucking face except for that big mother. I'm like, that's why I'm just like, I be disappointed in people because I be sitting here thinking like, wow, somebody playing with me right now, I'm not the one you should be playing with. I'm the one that actually would be concerned. Like, I'm gonna bring it up to them today. Why don't y'all use our antimicrobacterial paint? You got stuff like that out there now. Yes, it costs a little more, but guess what? When they come through here and they do a assessment, well, we've actually looked into doing more antibacterial. One thing I give them, they do got the little hand sanitizers downstairs in the main area. You can put some more upstairs. They got antimicrobacterial things. You can go right to DHS. Look, we need to do an overhaul. Can you please and write it up? Write this. We first of all demand it. We're a shelter. You should be caring about your fucking employees unless your fucking employees have everything and they're okay and they're looked out for. Cause you wouldn't dare have me working up here, and I'd be like, I see the one guy, he be gloved up and this stuff, and I'm sure he'd be washing his hands and doing this. But you got people that are a mix, bro. You got some people that you kicking out of here. Like I saw the guy that walked upstairs the other day. You know, while I was there, he da da da. I'm just like, okay. Like I'm not gonna say nothing, but baby, just go get you some water. Okay, go get you a banana and some water. Like if I sound walking in like that, hey, stop. Take this and take this water. Don't get these electrolytes, this banana, and there you go. Because I'm like, you have people donating food and doing this and doing that. And some of the food, like, I'm like, wow, this is actually some actually some stuff. And I'm like, it's probably because certain people are tired of jeopardizing their lives because entities aren't caring or doing whatever they can. If you want to experiment on somebody, baby, go get one of them $6,000 whatchamacallits and go up to like um somewhere out where you're in some woods and you pay somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do that in this type setting. You can mimic this setting, baby. You can mimic it with sounds and this and that and that and this and pollution and all the extra stuff. Like that's why I'm like I get upset when I think about stuff like that. I be like, okay, so why is everybody okay? You're okay? No, like foods. What the like the show? Like talking to him yesterday about some people being here and this that. Okay, how long you been here, baby? And you ain't nothing ever happened to you. Okay, what you doing that everybody else ain't doing? Somebody else getting but it look like somebody else might get a staph infection. Somebody getting bacteria. Somebody got this. Somebody don't got this. Is what you're eating? How are you eating it? Like the girl I saw upstairs with she tripped me out. She snapped on a little Spanish dude. She was like, I got gloves. Don't reach over here. I was just like, that is what's up. That's how you're supposed to do it. You're letting somebody know we don't know, baby, what you might personally be going through, and we're not faulting you because you never know what psychological crap will be done. But what we do need to make sure that we do is keep a standard. I was like, that's what you should do. We need to make sure we keep a standard, and we're not gonna have it to where you can go up on the roof and hop off if you ever get that stress. And we're not gonna have it to where you can go and fight somebody else if you ever get that stress. Cause you talking about we got somebody with what? Oh, you gonna be downstairs next to the office. That way, as soon as I hear you raise your voice, dum, 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 I'm upstairs. I'm like, cause I'm up on the seventh floor. Me and him got into it several times. Well, did we? Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if something needed to happen, guess what? Y'all ain't gonna reach here in time. Cause guess what I'm thinking? I'm like, you know what? This nigga big, so I'm gonna have to kick his ass down. I'm gonna have to do some sneak shit. Like if you come at me, I'm gonna fight you at the top of the stairs, position myself to do one of them. This is Sparta kicks and kick all the way down to the bottom of the stairs and hope I don't break your neck. And if I do, that's why I make sure I get the shit on camera. So we start at my door where I'm telling you to back up, back up, back up. You hit me, you swing, I'm biting you right around the corner, down to them stairs, and Sparta kicking y'all. That way, if something happens, it's not my fault. And I think strategically like this for a reason because I'm like, I look at other people like, what are you doing to think like that? Like I'm walking in the kitchen, as much as somebody get on a, so we're having lobster and steak. I'm like, okay, first of all, it's not lobster and steak. Second of all, you should probably be telling people that go in the kitchen to make sure they have a mask on if you want to get on the intercom. Or maybe putting a sign, bigger sign in yellow stating, if you're in this kitchen, put your mask on. Don't leave no dirty dishes in the sink. Or make sure trash can. One day I was like, what the? Not a trash can. Oh hell. I was like, you know what I mean? Like, and you have to, I don't care if you had to pay more, you have to set a certain standard at your lowest point or your quote unquote lowest point. And it don't mean that you're lowest, you're unvalued. It just means that you never know. This is an emergency situation. Like I was telling the guy in the hall, I came here because of a fire. Guess what I'm gonna do when I get out of here? Guess what? If my apartment is ready right now, I come here, I contract monkeypox. It's in NYCHA. NYCHA contracts monkeypox. It's in MTA. MTA contracts. You know what I mean? Or it's in one of these settings where people are rubbing elbows. Like one dude's going to grad school. Like he go to school and like this is that, and that's the main reason why some people. And I'm like, okay, but then you're stupid. It's a lot of people that do. A lot of people like he do make a lot of damn. He make a lot of damn sense. Like, why wouldn't you set a certain standard at a certain level? Why wouldn't you? You sit up here talking about, and then you talking about some extra stuff, baby. You need to kick it up to 10. I'm like, that would make no sense. That would, when I first came here, I was like, whoa. I'm not gonna say they did better, and then, but they're doing better, right? But I'm like, you gotta kind of make sure. I mean, Lord, I think what you call it probably. He be looking like he tired lately, but I don't say nothing about that. But I'm like, it don't make no sense though, and it makes you wonder why this. And that's when you start your own problems. When people start looking at stuff like that, well, why? You know what I mean? And then we. So then I'm like, you know what? So you know what you do? Instead of spending your money on drugs, go and walk into a nice restaurant, sit yourself down. Like, okay, you know what? Instead of spending this 60 on whatever, go ahead, go to Carmine's or go ahead and go to the steakhouse and sit. Go and have your nice meal. Don't even worry about dressing up too much. Just make sure you presentable. Go do a city. When I do a real, go do and then see how things probably change. Like, oh snap. I'm like it, but it don't make no sense because the world be focused on that when what you should be focused on is, like I said, getting up off the rock, which is the earth, or renewable stuff, stopping war, psychological mess, all this other stuff. I'm like looking like I'm sitting here, like baby, y'all know what y'all should. That man down there had a dirty room. Y'all sat there complaining about the room for how long? Somebody he got maggots and I'm like, the nigga had how you got how you got it? And then you talking about something supposed to be what? I'm like, how you got all that? That right there, they would have probably failed you, or some of the stuff probably would have failed you or took over yours. So you should be thankful that somebody even contacting you and saying, hey, what the fuck are y'all doing? I'm like, to me, that right there shows that you're not really going in rooms. So I'm like, okay, so this nigga got all this stuff and maggots and stuff growing, or whatever you said, he said. And it's got this odor when you open the door to where it's just coming out of the room. Then you got another one I walked past the other day. I was like, ooh. I was like, does anybody go in here? Like, do you pull people out? Like, babe, okay, look, um, we need a special team to come in for this room. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, cause you got other people that are here that are trying to go off into other settings. I mean, it's probably why somebody liked me too, cause every time I'm like, hold on, the only way my apartment ever stayed like that was when one, kind of like after the fire, you told me I didn't have to do anything. that's why that apartment is like that now. I was like, oh, so y'all got it? Mm-hmm, we got it. Okay, well then, I'll see y'all. Hopefully y'all can let me know if something strange is happening because I need y'all to actually clean. I need y'all to clean it. So if y'all need some help, let me know. I will come here and I will help y'all. But every time something happened with the neighbors, guess what Joey was doing? Cleaning thoroughly, putting that apartment pretty much back to normal. But I'm like, you'd have to show it, then demand it. Like, okay, well, we spent X amount of dollars on micro antibacterial paint to where people touching on stuff is still good. You know what I mean? And like we even got like I don't know, like they got the sprays in the bathroom you press. We even got sprays in the bathroom when you press it, it does a little shower clean. We make sure we fill those up, put the little stuff in it, and press the thing down and like they got the things. They're like what do they call it? I remember Tilex makes them or Soap Scum. And one of the companies where you press it and it sprays. So at least when people get out of the shower, just tell them press this button, baby. When you get out, press the button. Okay? You had somebody telling me somebody came in here while they were showering and just started taking it. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you talk about somebody being, of course they should, people should be nosy. What the heck is going on over here? That don't make no sense. And I've already stated this. Like it's no excuses for stuff. This is what I said a long time ago. Like why? And I guess that's probably why they be so quick to kick mine. I'll be like, they be like, oh yeah, nah, this one right here, you gotta get your. I'll be like, no, but no. What about? Well, what are y'all doing for stuff, bro? There's sheets that are antimicrobial. I used to have the little duvet, and it was a cover that was says antimicrobial. I think it was like the duvet cover was like $20 maybe. But I'm like, look, we gonna give y'all this. You need to take it to the wash house and wash it, or even have a washing machine in here. I'm like, it don't make no sense why you don't have no damn washing in here, and give certain days. I'm just like, you're at a level where people don't have money, right? Or they're supposed to not have money. So 9 times out of 10, I'm like, stuff like that should be standard. I'm like, okay, well, they don't have money, so we got like a grant or something. We got where the community kind of noticed that we need and went and got us a washer and dryer set. So at least, you know what I mean? People can go and put the stuff in the washer and dryer. When you go to a site board, they have a washer and dryer for a reason. They got one on the floor and like 2 doors next to you where they be like, look, okay, you got your clothes? Okay, put them in here. We're going to wash them and get back to you. Not saying you should be doing laundry in here, like for people, but you should have it to where they can go throw their stuff in. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's kind of like where I'm like, when I saw one guy like me, um, didn't really have no money and had to wash it in the sink. I was like, well, at least he washed it in the sink. But still, like, should you have a dry washer? Antimicrobial paint? I like the hand sanitizer things. I was like, those are really convenient because you put it right next to the cooking area, or at least the one downstairs. I was like, but some antimicrobial soap in there too, maybe. Maybe get you some of the big jugs from soft soap, but an antibacterial. You fill up a little dispenser to kind of like boost the heftier lifestyle. Because after all, I'm like, that's for the greater good. When I go in here, And I go shopping, and like that, when I went shopping, why when the Santana's at the front damn? I mean, like, because I can leave right here now, right from here, go to Whole Foods, and touch on everything. It don't make no sense, bro. You go to the same place as 7-Eleven. I be lucky. I be thankful he can open the door. I see why. I see why y'all pay that man holding. I'm just like, you go at 7-Eleven and the mix is real. It makes you wonder why something affects a certain population or demographic. And I'm like, and maybe that's the excuses. Okay, well, no. I'm like, why are there excuses? Why would there be an excuse to say, oh well, um, you know what I mean? And they have this stuff at Home Depot. They have, like I said, then you got heat. Heat breeds germs. It multiplies in heat. When it's, what's the word? I gotta cut that thing back on too. But when it's steam and thing, but I sprayed a whole. I gotta stop putting that dang ammonia in. But I'm like, I did ammonia like once or twice. It was not so cute. And I'm like, but I need to make sure I'm in here. And like this morning, I put a video up. I don't necessarily use that sink like that because every time I look at the handle, I'll be like, oh my god, what am I touching? What am I touching? I don't like even pressing the sink to flush because I'm like, why is it always like, is it booty crust? What is on this handle? So I'm like, sometimes I'll flush, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'll wake up till I can spray the handle and then flush. But then when I come back in here, you hear this sound right here. So I'm sitting here like, this don't make no sense. I'm glad the one down the bathroom down the hall got a little messed up because I was like, the one up here needs a redo. I was like, I don't know what's going on in this bathroom up here, but she need a redo. I was like, um, you can do some sanding of the paper, take some sandpaper, smooth it out. You got ridges and you got stuff that where dirt get under and it starts to breathe. I saw something underneath the sink and I was like, oh my God, I know ain't nobody using these. Like, honey, you definitely didn't think I was gonna use one of these. Or you definitely don't think these are mine. Or are you trying to be funny? And say what? You see what I'm saying? I'm like, somebody's being really fuck funny and disrespectful. And that's where a lot of people don't fuck with you. That's why a lot of people don't fuck with certain people. Because I'm like, why would y'all be disrespectful? You're saying, don't look for somebody to pay you. Hi. Or don't look for somebody else saying, well, we're going to pay you, should come in and say, well, we're going to pay you. We're sorry. Or over there in Niger, you know what? Well, we're going to pay you. Or over at these hospitals, you know what? We're going to pay you. And then things are fine. But you're sitting there acting like things didn't happen. And you're not addressing. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even like, okay, when I went to, what was it? Oh, New York Presbyterian. I think I heard it somewhere said. Hey, y'all. Oh my God. When I went to New York, I was like, okay, so I'm sitting there saying, oh yeah, we're gonna give you X amount of dollars and um per guess what the amount was on the fifth floor? How insulting is that? I'm like, so I'm sitting here like, you don't put me through heck, right? And you talk about like, yeah, that's not right. We should just da da da. I'm like, okay, because you're using it, right? Now, if you do that, then we're fine because you actually done what you're supposed to do, right? Then all of a sudden I'm sitting here like, we Gucci then, but you don't drag on past, babe. And you don't sit around here letting people fake it either. Like, why were they sitting there talking about some Bo, the security system? Okay, so maybe it is something like that. And maybe you can't tell me, you can't tell me for a reason, which is okay. But I'm like, you need to tell somebody around me, look, Joseph. You could even set it up to where, hey, I'm going to, tell somebody like, hey, what is it, Miss King, or tell like the whole, well, when he's finished, um, he's gonna get X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay, X, Y, and Z. But not tell everybody else. You tell everybody else, you're gonna have that problem. Especially if somebody don't know, or in the situation they are made to where they can't be told, or aren't. And I'm like, and I'm always recording, especially when somebody knows I'm up. So I'm like, if somebody's there doing this, that, the third, I'm gonna be like, you, um, you have to make a conscious effort to do the right thing. That's probably why a whole lot of think about it. Why everybody's like, hey, right, call us out, because they're like, okay, bro, what are y'all? And then why wouldn't you tell? That is so selfish. And that's what somebody needs to be held accountable because you make things look incorrect. And see, while somebody's over here talking about drop that excuse, babe. Like, you gotta, they set you up with that excuse. Stop saying that shit. Like, that part. While you're sitting up here talking about, oh, cause you, that makes no sense. The people saying it should be arrested. It ain't no Joseph King setting y'all up. That's New York. Or whoever's telling people to walk around saying X, Y, and Z. Could be damn testing y'all. That's why I'm sitting here like, baby, listen to Joseph King. And if your person that's supposed to be going around with a chair ain't doing the right thing, you don't have issues. Oh, that's what I made sure nobody likes him. Are you? Baby. Guess what somebody else gonna think? Show my son. by himself. What they gonna do? Come after my family? And I'm like, so that could be so why not that could be enough. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking loud, I'm talking to you. My thing is then to try to cover it up. That's when I'm like, okay, y'all say like you should just be real. Oops, well somebody X, Y, and Z. So you cover it up. So you gotta think of how things look. To me, that's how it would look. I was thinking in my head, okay, this is weird because we kept saying this. You know, Reese Gaslight, but then why would the hospitals make sense to it? Hospitals are institutions that should be for one purpose, the betterment of health. Meaning, I come in because I'm feeling away, you nourish me back again. If you're going to experiment, that's something extra. If you're going to test, that's something extra. That's what you pay for money for, paid studies, paid studies. I'm like, okay, well maybe that's, you know, because I'm looking on the things, even on the little, on the metro, living NTA was not paid by Columbia. Okay. Like, you got all these things. And I'm like, okay, well maybe somebody didn't do what they should, and you smack their hand, but you don't continue to let the person in the middle of it get smacked up. I'm like, so then you go after the what you don't come after me. Like, you after the fucker that really ain't done his job right. The one that's gonna hide behind a corner and say, hey, what you gonna call it? You know, oh, hey. As everybody else says, hey, Joseph Key, that's what we're going to pay you. So him down there be like, oh, I paid you. Hey, yo. So we gonna do the same thing, right? And then we'll go in that nigga mailbox. I know somebody else named Joseph, right? So we can just get that check. I don't even think he know. Look how he telling him. Look how he all the way over there. That man don't hear that. Okay, let's plot. No, I can't have a what? No, I'm like, I'm gonna plot on myself. Like, that's the types. Like, how am I supposed to believe the same thing that's, I would love to. I would love to. But I'm like, I'm later in my life, right? Like, I wouldn't have no hard feelings if you did what you're supposed to do. That's my thing. But I'm like, you have to go and tell somebody else, yo, you was bad. Because you should have went and you should have said something better the way you said. Oh, well, I told him no. Like, you didn't go. You didn't really sit down and say, hey, look, here goes a document. Uh, you know, it might be some weird stuff going on. But we got a special team and we looking at the little cases special. So I'm thinking like, okay, I do feel something. But then I'm like, is it a back and forth war going on right now? Like, are you blocking them from? And no, baby. I would normally just come out looking any type of way. Outside. I'm like, okay, you got me coming out with a shirt on. I'm like, that's usually they at least let me put on. I'm like, you know how stuff makes, you know how things start appearing? You dragged me out the house without a shirt on, and then some shoes on. Then I gotta walk home. Like, oh, it's all part. And if that was all, then what needs to happen is you let the other entities know, so then they'll know, right? So, because you know I'm gonna go ahead and because I'm not knowing. So the responsible person I am, I'm gonna hit every. And when I go into the police precinct and they kind of, oh no, you in the bathroom? Right. So yeah. Or when I go, and I'm like, going to CCRB and cops is missing mediation, or we can't tell you the findings of our investigations. Or, I'm just like, what? Or not calling me back to tell me, hey, yo, yeah, when they transported you from the hospital, they went ahead and looked out for you. So we can see what happens. Oh, we don't want nobody to come and debate. Ain't nobody coming in here. Ain't no people, 100 people getting through that door outside. Should be outside the sheet. And I'm not trying to be all out at people's houses right now. If I'm comfortable in here. I appreciate the guy cooking. I was like, but you could, like, maybe throw like an AC in the hallway. You could, like, not have that funky attitude downstairs. You could be not talking back. If you're trying to help me get back to myself, know that I'm a stronger person. Know that I can handle a lot more than what some people, what's the word? But I'm like, he can't even stand it. Baby, if I had money, my lawyers would. I was like, oh, you did what? Did who? Okay, well, here goes my team. Yesterday you said you was gonna kill me, right? And then now you writing stuff in my lawn, bleach. Me, um, Mr. Cochran, or me, Mr. Estenheimer, and Esquire, or whatever. Because I'm not gonna fight you like that. So I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily have an issue if you did stuff the right way, but then you got somebody talking about something. Don't look for what's happening. Don't look for us to pay. Yeah, you know I'm looking for something. Then you got somebody breaking into the mailbox. I'm like, y'all should hopefully that's where some federal offenses come into place. I'm like, you playing with the mail. That's fair. You don't play with the U.S. Postal Service. They got their own investigations put down. And I'm sure that lady that delivers the mail, she don't play either, because baby, she can get federal, she can get real charges. You get hired for the post office, you get real charges. You can't just look around at your job. Hospital, I don't think you get fair charges unless it's brought up that you do something. You just get medical malpractice unless you're doing some real weird dicky shit. also have to realize why somebody would say certain things. This is what pissed me off about that. I'm like, man, why do y'all keep bringing that up? In this situation, first of all, God knows, for one, if a person really means it or not. So it's a face value. You know how many people probably say bad about something happening and it don't happen? You know. It might feel a little way if I said it and everything's going. But in a same sense, you explain yourself. Well, da da da. And I've already said and I've already stated in my own space, and where somebody else can take that into consideration. Oh, if you were trying to help me, then it's null and void. So that's already been done. For somebody then to keep bringing it up, I'm like, you should address it. That's why I said that's when you start. And if you pay other people to do it, they're gonna be like, okay, well, baby, you have to, you have to do something like with the food upstairs. I'm like, it's kind of nice, you know, like, but that's not gonna make me think somebody's gonna really look out. Or, now one thing that did make me think was when I got a boost of but then when I go and I ask for a little bump and y'all like, oh no, we don't. I'm like, I thought you did. I'm pretty sure you did. Actually, they do. Do they? I think they do. If you run out low of stamps or money, you can always put it. You put in for like a clothing brand, which I think we want to do. You can put in for a clothing brand. You can put in for if you got to get a job, money to go get a suit. So I'm like, HRA do have some good policies, but it's not. I don't know. Like to me, like I feel like y'all got the world to me is changing, and I'm like, I look around, like, of course, so many people are flooding to New York. I'm gonna tell you one reason, because even though I will be extremely, and like as somebody should, hard on a situation, or not even hard, I would be extremely hard. I would set the bar. You should set the bar. When they said that thing about that 10th city, I was like, oh, I see, because people will come in waves. Like, they will come in waves because you're supposed to be the cream of the you're supposed to have your shit together. And you should have it to where you're able to come back or say, hey, okay, well, we got enough. We can't take in. We're overcrowded. You should have policies in place where you don't just come here and oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from all the way out in California. I can't, okay, well, so why did you come here? You know what I mean? Oh, I came for, you moved for a boyfriend? Okay. You came with family? Okay. You came for a job? Okay. You came for this? Okay. You're tired, you're wretched, you're poor, you came. Or you just came, you just bought a bus ticket, and guess what you do? Baby, you got relatives. If you're not trying to school it, work it, or something, I'll be like, baby, well, our city doesn't really provide. And we don't really have no family members. Okay. You know, but you're trying to work, you're trying to do something, who knows? But you have to set your bar. And the people that are trying to do the right thing, you can't be kicking them down. I would really be like, you need to really talk and let people know certain things. You can't, and you have to abreast the public with this. Like there's waves of it coming out. I'm like, if you haven't noticed, I was like, it might be like where people are like, oh, this friend until this friend, like California, this friend until that friend, like this. And then you got drugs, and then you got, are you equipped with canines? Do you have a fleet? I said this a long time ago. Why don't canine come to this unit? And you get so many, you gotta go. Like, baby, you done been, you doing petty theft, and you doing, whatchamacallit, baby, we can't fund you no home here, and if we find you in the street, we will drive you to the edge of town and say, we better not see you here. Right? That's what I would be like. I'd be like, yeah, we help you out, we whoop you boo, um, we looked out, we tried to get your housing, you didn't do, we tried to whoop, you didn't lie, we tried to do none, you didn't whoop, you're stealing, you're taking, you're fighting, you're this, you got to stick up. This ain't like Wisconsin or Vermont or Utah where we have land and space. You don't have land or space like that. You rubbing elbows with people across other countries. So if other countries come here and say, hey, what the they going back to their homes. Their homes might be like, what was that one of the cans? But I'll be looking at the Yahoo or something. I'm like, wait a minute. I just got to this thing. Watching a movie. But I'm just like, um, you gotta start setting a bar. And if whatchamacallit asks for that money from whatchamacallit, it should be warranted. Yo, it's warranted. We got X amount of people. We're an international hub. We have people coming in like Atlanta. We have people coming in. California, we have people coming in. All this stuff. We need spending. You got pharmaceutical prices high. You got this, that, and the third. They gonna have to kick something at me. Like, because you got so many things that you sit and you look around. Like, I went to London, I said, the streets so clean, bro. I was floored. I was like, you got all these tourists and then near the Eiffel Tower, and I was like, I looked on the ground at the station, like, y'all got Roombas or something around here? I felt like they had outside Roombas. They had outside Roombas somewhere. And just come out and just shh, and go back in the little things. Like, what? They got outside Roombas. And then you also have to set precedents. Like, are you giving tickets and stuff? Are you seeing people just throw stuff on the ground, leave stuff on the ground? Even people that go around picking stuff up and collecting stuff and pushing it around. Are you telling them, look, you can't be doing that. You dragging around pills. I have an eco team come out of your ass. Yeah, well, we see what you got going here, but what you need in this thing, because we don't have to go ahead and take it. People dragging stuff on me. I was like, I'd be floored. I'd be like, and you in an area that's high traffic, high tourism. You got events and stuff like that's what we're talking about moving. You got transportation. I said that a while ago. Like you got sitting on the steps right at the post office, you touching stuff, and this and this. Like, hey, you would get offenses for sanitary offenses. My head. Okay, you know what? I'm being officer. Well, God, we're just saying you're gonna get a standing offense. We can be able to say that you are, you're this and that, this, that, and the third. We can go ahead and write you a citation. If they take you, you show up to court, guess what's gonna happen? So we noticed you're here. You'll go away. Like if you can't do it yourself, train for that. You wake up with a perm, feet looking brand new. Dang, haircut, shave. You went in, dang, I ain't never been bald down there with your bald down there. I mean, you got time for that. Oh, that's imposing. Oh, wait, now you the little sex stuff, you got your prophylactic, so it's like, okay, well, now with that, you have to kind of use discretionary precautions with your nut and stuff, and your sticking stuff and stuff. And that's different, but I was like, sanitation, I'm like, then in parks, you got kids. Of course, I heard that in the hallway, so mom, in parks, you got kids. I said, all the little kids that be up in that grass and stuff. I was like, that's why I said I wouldn't. I'll be back. Justice come, I'll be back. I loved how they were doing the playgrounds too. I said that too, like, ain't them, do they got the anti-macrobacterial type platform almost where the kid can be on it and play when it hit the ground, maybe it won't be so much bacteria. Like that. It was just. Mm, 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 mm. You think about it. All the toilet, well, I just thought about that. Somebody do that. Right? What you know? Like, y'all make sure y'all have all y'all shots. Cause I'm like, you got every walk of life. Jacks, you even have some nice little go through Jacks. Cause Jacks got some good prices. I'm gonna be honest with you. They work my damn nerves with that. That's funny. I mean, like, they got some good damn prices. I'm like, you mixing people. You have to keep a standard. I don't care if you do or do not want to get. And that's another thing too. If you I did no, it's no decline. Mm-mm. Sorry. We funding this, no decline. Oh, I don't believe. Oh, you don't believe in the what? Okay, well, you got to go.